Alright, we are down at the food plot, and as you all can tell here, we have all these trash piles in here that we push up. I pushed this about a little over a year ago, and I add to it occasionally, like this big old oak limb that broke out. We'll probably end up cutting that for firewood. But what we're down here for is all this soil you see out in the front out here is soil from where this stuff has rotted and decayed and collapsed in. I'll shove the wood on over the parts that's not decayed yet and let that decay down. And then when we need soil to plant in, this is nothing but pure organic matter here. Stuff that has just rotted down and turned back into pure soil. I mean, there's still pieces of wood and stuff like that in here, you know. But like this here, just pieces of wood left in here and little pieces of old root stuff. We'll take all that out. This here is just pure rotted.
See some of it rotting down still.
Yeah, that's just pure rotten organic matter. That's all it is just pure organic matter. It was a couple years ago, this was trees and bushes. And this away, we don't have to go buy potting soil to plant in or anything like that. You're not going to get any more organic than this. This is full of microbes and just nutrient dense soil. That's just all it is. Back side of our property here, me and Chris spent some time going through here by hand, clearing out this old fence row. Now you can see down through yonder, we opened it up all the way down in yonder.
Let's see, where's the...
You see that
leaning tree?
That leaning tree right down yonder. You can see the fence row. Him and me, we chopped this thing out and chopped it out all the way down through yonder. We got it where we can put some barbed wire and some more posts in here now. And on this side, while we were down here, we actually found something. I want to show you guys. This fence here, don't step on it like this.
That's where the fence is.
This is the water source coming off of our property.
We're actually on the back side about 10 feet or so, but yeah. That's ours right there. Ours
is right there, yeah. I just didn't want to walk through all that stuff up in there. I come to the easiest point here, but this is a beautiful, heavy running spring. Actually, it starts on our property and runs off down through the woods here. It's nice. Actually, Chris saw some little minnows in it, he said.
So it goes back around, and our fence is where that tree, big tree over there is. So
yeah,
it starts way up there.
It starts way back up in the woods up in yonder, behind the pond. Actually, if you want to be honest about it, it starts behind our pond, and it meanders all the way down through the center of our property. And when you get back here, then actually the further it goes, the bigger it gets.
So a nice little water source if necessary.
Yes. You can walk right here. Look at this.
But you can see where they've got to go in between old trees for the tree line, for the fence.
Yeah, the old ancient wire is deep inside the trees here. When you get up here, there's really deep down. The original owner had a grading system in there to keep the cows from going under the fence back then. Okay, when you get back in here, the owner had metal piled up against the fence, and down in there's a grading system where the water could pass through it, and the cows couldn't go under through this water stream to get out of the pasture back in there, out of the woods, I guess you could say. But this is actually just beautiful down in here. I mean, it meanders around back up on our woods, back up yonder, and comes way back off of our woods. The deer come across here all the time, like to get water right down in here. They go back and forth and come off of the hills up in yonder.
So now where have you got to go through here to get across here? Right here? That's
actually,
the wire.
Actually, it's going to be right here. We got to cut these trees down. Our chainsaw battery went dead. We got to cut these trees and that little piece off yonder.
And you're going to go in between.
Yeah, we're going to go in between. You see that yellow dot way up there on that tree? We got to go up through yonder. We got to cut all them trees off because our battery.
We got to stay on this side of the yellow dot.
Yeah, the battery went dead on the saw. And but we got everything cleaned out, the little stuff. I just got my battery charged up now. We got to come back and saw all this stuff off and get it out of here before we can go through here with the fence. Now we're going to go back with barbed wire. It originally had woven wire here in here, and the woven wire stuff has backed up against it and kind of created a dam in here, and it blew the fence down. So we're not going to go that route. We're just going to put barbed wire through here. And I don't have any cows back in here to worry about getting out. So I'm just trying to create a property line to keep the honest people from wandering off of this hunting lease back here behind us onto our property, because they're probably going to clear cut this in the next year back here. And when they do, I'd really like to have the fence up back here then. Well, when I was clearing the property, guys, I had this little cedar tree here. It wasn't no bigger than your finger.
I made him leave it.
Ms. Wanda made me leave it because it was laying flat on the ground. So I drove a steel fence post behind it, picked it back up to try to get it going. And boy, it took off and done good. And because we're managing our deer herd, and we have like, this year we had like 6 different bucks on the camera. Well, they found Ms. Wanda's tree here, and they pretty much have
taking the bark off of it, for sure.
It's probably going to die now. Now there's some sprouts coming out below it down here that might actually make it, but the backside of it here is it's done beginning to die. You know, it just breaks my heart. We tried so hard to keep this little tree.
Well, if all of it don't die, we're gonna let it ride, but some of it is dying.
Some of it's dying. If it makes it, it makes it.
We may have to put something around my tree.
Let me take you over here and show you another one. This is a good one over here. Well, I have this cedar tree down here in the woods that I was kind of keeping because it's gotten to be real tall and was doing real good. And me and Mr. Chris was down here working in the woods, and we looked up here, and Chris says, "Oh my goodness, look at yonder." And we come walking over here, and the bucks have
stripped your tree.
They stripped it. They pretty much stripped. This is a big deer. This tree is about 3 inches in diameter.
He worked on it, that's for sure.
He spent his time on that one right there. He was a little ticked off, I think. Well, hello everybody. Danny and Wanda back from Pecan Grove. We just came out the house out here to plant these tomato seeds. Miss Wanda just had her BLT tomato sandwich, and stick around. She's going to show you a little bit about that. I think you'll enjoy watching her eat her fresh BLT. Today's February the 6th. Not often you get to eat a fresh BLT on February the 6th from your own place now.
All right, guys, I have some wheat bread. This is honey wheat bread. That's kind of bread I like. I keep a loaf in the freezer for whenever I want something. Don't eat bread very often. And I'm just putting some Kraft mayonnaise in it. All right, so then I have my bacon. I'm going to go ahead and put those slices up there. Get that out of the way. Now my tomatoes, I sliced these tomatoes and put in here last summer. And you see they have ice on them, so I'm going to just take the ice off right quick. I just ran it under the water. It's still frozen, but we're going to do probably 2. I'll put those on there. And they're still frozen. I'm not eating just yet because I got to get my lettuce. These will thaw out over the next couple of minutes. Got some of my lettuce, and I like a good bit of lettuce, so I'm going to pile that up. Put the top on. And we're going to
Look at
bacon,
that.
lettuce, tomato sandwich in just a few minutes. And I'm not wasting the stems. I kind of like stems. So we're going to be ready to eat in just a minute. See how a BLT with a frozen tomato, they should be thawed out by now.
What's it like to eat a fresh BLT?
Even though it's not fresh, the tomato's not.
Well, I mean, it's as fresh as you're going to get. I mean, it's our tomatoes. Everything there belongs to us.
Except the bread.
Except the bread.
The tomato has thawed out enough that it's still cold, but it's not frozen. The bacon is perfect. The lettuce, oh my goodness, y'all. First BLT, and it's February. Like what, February the 5th? 6th?
Yeah.
February the 6th, and I've got a BLT. Oh, wow, and I didn't have to go to Walmart.
Right. No grocery store is involved in this one, except for the bread, and it's been in the freezer for I don't know how long.
Couple of months.
Yeah, I was going to say we just don't eat it very often.
Baby, that's good.
Ain't that good?
Now we got to go plant some tomatoes.
Yep, got to go plant tomatoes where we have fresh tomatoes this time. I've got 2 packs of tomato seeds here, guys. I kept telling y'all about planting the red deuce tomato. Now, this is from Harris Seed Company, about being the one to start early, but I actually was wrong now. I'll admit that. After looking down here, the Primo Red says that it is the one that needs to be planted early. It says you will want to start your season with the smooth, deep globe-shaped, large, extra large fruit. It's produced on compact, determinate plants. Now, it says you want to start these are ones you want to start for your early season. I was thinking it was the Red Deuce, but it's not. It's actually the Primo Red. So we're going to save these. These actually says this is for your second planting when it starts warming up. How much warmer it's going to get. Right now it's 95 degrees in here, and that feeling kind of warm if you don't know the truth about it. Let's see what we got here. Well, they actually sent actually ain't nothing in that. They sent them inside this right here. I'm just blown away. This big old huge pack right here, and this is what came in it. There's probably about, I don't know, maybe like 30 seeds in there, but I only need about 6 plants, so I'm gonna just kind of see if I can shake out some of these on here. There's 2 right there. 1 right there. If I can. 2. Come on. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. You think that's enough, Miss Wanda?
Yeah, because you're going to plant some more afterward.
Yeah. And I'm not
Plus, I've got the blue bounties. We'll see if they come up.
We'll see if they come up. Okay, I'm just going to punch these down in the soil lightly now. Not very deep. Maybe 1/2 inch at the most. Probably not even that much. Probably 1/4 of an inch.
Now, this is the soil we just went in the woods and got. You saw us in the woods
playing
around, and this is the soil we just got from there.
This ain't...
Are you doing any? You're not doing any seed starting mix or nothing of them?
This is just strictly out of that old trash pile down there. I've learned I actually have better success by doing that. And this is just an old nail bucket I had there in the shop that I filled up with this soil here now. It's got some holes in the bottom of it and stuff like that, so I don't have to worry about it holding too much water.
But can you put this in there?
I could stick
and let
this.
It sprinkle.
I could put this in there and kind of turn it down a little bit where it don't
spray too much.
Where it don't spray too hard. Let me go turn it on. Let's just see. Look at that.
Perfect.
That's what I like about this irrigation system. You can look at that. Isn't that nice?
Now,
Well,
these 2 beds are the ones you're going to put your tomatoes in when they come up.
yeah.
That's good right there.
Right there. Look at that. We just want to moisten it up just a little bit. Let it run just a little bit. Now the one in the bed back here, I got set where it shoots way on out there.
And when we put it back here, it'll get this side of that bed done too.
This is going to, I think this is going to work out pretty good because that water, that's probably about enough. And I'll stick it back in here, and then we can open it back on up a little bit where it'll spray out a little bit more.
Trying to get the rest of the broccoli. We harvested the last of the little broccoli heads off of all of this a few days ago.
Yeah.
And the rabbits love eating on that, don't they?
Yes, they do. I've had so much stuff here lately, though. I've been feeding some to the chickens and some to the rabbits. Oh, they out of water. We gotta get them some water. Let me go in there and clean that bucket out first. There's a rain catchment system here. That's what we water the chickens with. The other one probably, he's staying in there in the shade. All right, Miss Prissy. Get you something to eat?
You got to hand feed her?
Yeah, she's lazy. She stays up in the box.
You waiting on him, lady?
Isn't here waiting on me here. She knows what that means. Look at her. She just goes to town on it. They love their green stuff now. Now I will take and I'll stick a few down through here like this occasionally because they like to reach up and pull. Now the old male, he
likes to gnaw on stuff.
He likes just gnaw on stuff. Look at him, little man. See, he chews on the ends of stuff. Like this here, and then when he gets through with it, I feed it to the cows. Now he'll actually, lots of times, he eats the old dirty roots off the ends of it. Well, you can hear that one going to town.
That's laziness.
She just sits up in her box and she just pulls it up in there and eats. She is a mess. Well, guys, we found a treasure in one of our buildings. A couple of years ago, I grew some of the prettiest Star of David that we had ever grown, and I saved seeds from it, and we just found the box when we were cleaning up at Deep South Homestead. I mean, you look at them big old okras. Them things are beautiful. So I decided I'm going to sit here. It's raining outside right now. Totally unexpected. Nobody said nothing about no rain. And then all of a sudden it just starts raining, which I am not going to complain about. And I said, well, this would be the perfect time for me to shell out Star of David okra seeds.
That's some nice seed.
That's a nice batch of seeds right there now.
It's starting to rain.
Yep.
We got about an hour of this. And it's
I
been raining for about an hour,
Rain
hour and a
going-
half.
Well, we done had a little over half an inch, unexpected. I mean, just flooded all of a sudden. And now it's raining again, so no need complaining. We need the rain. There'll be a period of time here in the very near future we'll be begging for it. So our ponds are still 2 foot low. We still ain't had much. So usually through the winter time the ponds all fill up and everything, but not yet.
Danny's been out here making these rails for this back porch and the walkway. We've got to get concrete and stuff done, but he's got part of the rails done. I brought my 4 Vego self-watering tomato planters up here, and 2 of them, this one and this one on the end, I went ahead and planted the Blue Bounty tomatoes right here in the center. They haven't come up. I put radishes around the edges, and some of the radishes have come up in this one. In this one, more radishes are coming up. But again, in the center, I planted the Blue Bounty. I planted like 4 or 5 seeds because they're old. They are in the Indigo series, and they're about this big of a tomato. They haven't come up. We were at the feed store or the hardware store, and Bonnie plants had just come out. So I'm planting one. This is the Parks Whopper Improved. So I'm planting 2 of those. I got 2. Danny said he used to plant these years ago, and they got to be big tomatoes. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to plant that one. We're going to fill all of them up with water. These little tubes in here will go to the top. When I get it full of water, I'll bring the hose around. This is where we fill it up. We'll fill them all full of water. And the sun is pretty stout right here. I may end up having to move this one on down, or all of these 2 may have to go on down. It may be too much sun, but we're going to test them and see how they do on the back porch. And can I keep my tomatoes back here? We have one possible cool spell coming, and with these cages like this, I can drape something over them and keep them protected. I can put like a can or something over them too, and the protection. They should not freeze, so I'm not too worried, but I only bought 2 just in case. Alright, this little tube here is all the way up to the top, and you have a valve down here. If it gets too much, the water will come out. If I put it over, more water will come out, but we want to hang in with the water, and we're going to see what happens with the Parks Whoppers and the Blue Bounties here on the back porch. And this is a little herb planter. I've got mint in it. It's been there all winter. And of course this mint could go crazy somewhere else, but I've just been trying to keep a little sample. In about a month, we'll plant this somewhere else, and we'll start a little mini herb garden of another sort. I've got another longer planter like this, and we're going to fill them with herbs. So guys, I enjoyed my tomato sandwich of the year, my first tomato sandwich of the year. And I hope to grow more in the Vego self-watering tomato planters. Thank you guys from Pecan Grove.